Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about story time, long distance dating. So I'm going to let you know what happened with this specific time period, and if it feels like I'm getting out of breath during this, it's because I'm wearing this like waist trainer thing for the first time in my life, and it's definitely sucking the air out of me. I feel like I have to breathe in a specific way, like Pilates breathing, where it's like just some weird crap. So anyway, let's get to it. So for the purpose of this video, I will not be sharing exact names or anything, so let's give this person the name Francisco, right? So I met Francisco online. I met him on a little language learning site, you know, kind of similar to Duolingo, but just imagine you could talk to different people, and that's how it happened. I really was into language learning. I was trying to learn some Spanish, and I was like, yeah, let me just download this app because it's easier to talk to people than just open my textbook and like learn like and all those things. So that's what I did. And I just scrolled through the list of people, and really I didn't have a method of who I was clicking. I was just clicking people of all different ages, all different genders, all different sizes, because my objective was just to learn Spanish and really to discover what accent I like the most, because I noticed that, you know, depends on where they're from, on how much I can understand them and how little I can understand them. Anyway, I chose this guy, and he was from Mexico, and I chose other people from there too, people from Costa Rica, but Francisco was from Mexico. Francisco, Mexico. Yes. And with this person, I chatted with many people daily, but with this person, he was only the person. He was the only person that I could understand 100%, as in he spoke slow. I could actually hear the pronunciation of a lot of the words, versus other people where it feels like it's a highway, like it's like a brrr, like, and I'd be like replaying the audio and wishing they had like 2 times. You know how you could slow it on YouTube or make it more fast on YouTube? Yeah, it just felt like it was on 3x, and when I really wanted it to be like 0.75x. But anyway, this was the only person that I really understood, so for that reason I was definitely speaking with him more, because he was the only person I could understand in comparison to the rest. And with this, it was really fun. This person at the time, he was 10 years older than me, but to me, it wasn't a big deal, mostly because I've always never thought age is a huge thing. Well, I have parameters, of course, but especially with friend status and things like that, it just really depends on the maturity level for me to decide if I want to associate or talk with you, really. But this guy, he was 10 years older than me, and oh no, my camera just did that thing. Let me see if... yeah. Okay, I just had to readjust. Hopefully everything is fine. So yeah, we were speaking every day. I realized he was quite funny. I liked talking to him, right? And then he asked me the question. We were talking for maybe 2 months. I don't want y'all to think like I was speaking with someone for 1 week and I was like, let's get married. No, I didn't do that. We were speaking for about 2 months, and it was every day, constant. And I was learning Spanish rapidly, by the way, and I loved it, you know, it was much better than learning in a book. But one day I noticed like I'd always get a good morning text and a good night text, and I was like, oh, this feels so strange, but okay, you know. But I noticed like there's little hints that maybe it wasn't just only a friendship, maybe it was more, you know. So one day he asked like, oh, do you want to go out, you know? And to me, I was like, it's just so weird in a different language, because I was like, to where? You know, it's like, yeah, I would love to visit Mexico someday. And no, you meant like romantically, like, would you like to go out? And it was weird because I never considered this before. I never thought about long distance like this. And I was like, to me, I kind of felt like if I said no, and this was at the time, now I know more, but I kind of felt like if I said no, I'd potentially lose this language learning partner that I had. And then I was like, if I said yes, what is there to lose? Because it is long distance, so like, I mean, you know, so I didn't really take it seriously. So After like a day or two, I was like, "Ah, I'm gonna think about it." And I was like, sure, right? Because I did enjoy talking to the person, and I'm the type of person to let feelings grow after a while. It doesn't have to be instant attraction for me. It's just like, if I like the conversation and if you make good friend material, maybe it could lead to that. So that was how I was feeling. Him, on the other hand, not like I could speak for him 100%, but I felt more like it was definitely attraction 100%. And then, oh my gosh, like I could deal with her not knowing exactly everything I'm saying, but like we kind of can't. Like, he at the time only spoke Spanish, and me at the time, I was using that as a way like to just learn Spanish quickly. So, but he didn't really understand that much English, so I had to assume that it was mostly attraction, not like maybe not so much with the communication part, I don't even know, maybe it was. Anyway, so he started going out, and I was like, this is kind of weird. I never did a long distance relationship before, and is he really taking this seriously and all those things? But it was the same thing, just great conversations each day. It moved on to phone calls, late phone calls at night for hours and hours, and it became a routine daily. I would talk to him maybe like 4 to 5 hours a day. It was really a lot now that I look back at it. And then finally, after speaking with each other for some time, it became obvious like, oh, we should probably meet each other, I was getting some red flags, but I wanted to ignore them just because I was so happy with my little language learning journey. I think I mixed up everything together. But I did see some red flags. I saw things like, I saw signs of insecurity, and I tried to ignore that, even though that's quite important. So I saw signs of insecurity, but I was like, he's like, oh, I don't like the way I look in this, or I don't feel the most confident, or just those thoughts where I was like, okay, he's not the most confident man, right? And it wasn't that attractive to me, but I was like, let me just put that under the rug. It became a big thing later because I didn't realize how much insecurity he had and how he was trying. It kind of felt like he wanted me to feel sorry for him in that kind of way. He turned into a personal pity party, and that's what I didn't like. But yeah, we decided to meet each other after talking with each other for close to a year and a half. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go with my family, because clearly, guys, I don't know how some of y'all do this where you just like hop on a plane and just see this random man. No, even though I've been talking to him and I felt confident that he is him and everything because we've done video chats, I still had that thing where it's like, I never met him in person, so what if he just flips the darn switch on me? So yeah, I'm gonna go with my family. Yeah. I mean, in a foreign country too. And at the time, he didn't have his visa, but he was applying for it, and it was a big deal. And he showed me efforts that he was going to meet me the same way. Like, he wasn't just gonna let me like go to his country, that he was making plans to come to mine, and he showed me the visa application. I was like, yeah, go ahead. But everything got so twisted. So the more flags kept popping up, I realized that maybe my intentions in the beginning of the relationship should have been more solid. Shouldn't have just been like, go with the wind, carefree. Because later on, I told y'all, it's like he was more insecure. Like, he needed more affirmation. He also did that thing where it's like, I love you constantly. And it's beautiful. It's great. Some girls love to hear that. But for me, it's like, he kind of used that as a way to just fill in a conversation. It's like, if he has nothing to say, or how do I put this? He was boring. He was really, really boring. And that's what became evident. He could talk a lot about other things, a lot. But when it came to being in a relationship and like having interesting things like dates, and I know it's weird having online dates, but you'd have like these online Zoom dates and you prepare food together. And it could be a kind of thing. And I'll probably post a video about that, like what to do long distance date ideas, right? But he was just boring. I felt like I was coming up with all of these friggin' ideas, and we would send letters to each other, and I really liked that. I even got like a post box and stuff, and I should also talk about safety. Don't give anyone your real address. But it got so boring. It got so boring because I almost felt like he was okay with the routine of just talking for 4 hours a day, but after a while it just feels like, it's just the same thing. Like, what do you I need excitement. This is already long distance, so like, what else? What else is there,
So my camera fell, and good news, I did take off that corset. It was very, very uncomfortable. But yes, so when we met each other and we sat down for the first time, he was just like heavy breathing, like, and then he was holding my hand, and I was like, this is all so weird in my mind, because he was like looking at me, expecting me to say like, oh, I'm so glad to see you. But I couldn't get those words out, and then I was really uncomfortable too, just because, not like I was like, oh my gosh, who is this? But it's just different sensations that I didn't realize I'd have. Like when he was holding my hand, I was like, oh, his hand is moist. Mine is rough. My hands, I always feel like they're really rough. Like Scotch Brite, those little things to wash dishes. I feel like my hands feel like that. But I was like, oh, his hands are really wet, right? I was like, oh, okay. And it was weird. And then he was next to me, and I was like, oh, this is how it is when he's gonna be next to me. Or like, this is how he, looks and all these things. Because it's just so different. Like, you see someone on video, you see someone in a picture, and it's just literally not the same. In person, it's just literally not the same. You're like, oh, like, I can't believe they're this big or this small or this. Everything is just slightly different. It's slightly different. It was better. I would be better off if I heard a poem of him, because then maybe I wouldn't have so many, like, I don't even know. It was just different. So he was asking, he was like, how are you? And I was like, I'm good, and I was giving him the side eye. We were sitting next to each other. Like, we were sitting next to each other, and I couldn't really like face him because I was feeling nervous, so I couldn't really face him. But I was like, I'm good. And he's like, really? It looks like you're having second thoughts. And I was like, no, it's just my first time meeting you. That's why everything is totally different. And he's like, is it because you realize you didn't like me anymore? And I was like, no, it's because it's my first time meeting you, and I'm not used to that. Right? So you guys just have to imagine, it was like, excuse me, it's like allergy season for me too. But it was just so awkward because we're just sitting next to each other side by side as if we're like school classmates. And I'm talking to him like, and he's like breathing like, and I'm fine. Well, I'm like nervous on the inside, but I'm not understanding like, why are there so many, like, what are you expecting me to do? And what are you expecting you to do? I don't think you know what you're doing, I don't think you understand how this is not romantic, and this is not like, all those long distance videos that I've watched, Anyway, we sat on the couch for a while, and I began to warm up a little bit, and I began to actually turn my face to him a little bit more, and I was like, okay. And I was really looking at him, and I was like, yeah, this is definitely the same guy in the pictures, just a little bit more my height, not as big as I thought he was, and I was like, okay, he did send me real pictures. I wasn't catfished. I really wasn't. Maybe a little bit with the height, just a little bit with the height, but I really wasn't catfished. It was just, once again, different in person. And yeah, and then I just remember that we were talking, and it felt a little bit more comfortable. I didn't quite like all the questions, like, so what did you think about me? I just felt like it was way too soon. I needed to process the moment, And at the time, I felt so much pressure that I would just lie. I would just be like, I feel good. Be like, I feel good. I feel great. Yeah, this is great. It's great to finally meet you. And when inside, I'm like, this is really weird. But I didn't say that at first because at first back then it was more like, just because in new situations and stuff, you know the best answer to choose. But yeah, that was my first time meeting my long distance relationship. Let me know if you guys would like to find out more about our relationship, how we broke up. That's pretty juicy. But just comment and like if you'd like to hear more, and thanks, and subscribe.